This is the Hub on Hollywood. I'm James.
I'm Jamie.
And we
we
love
love
movies.
movies. James Rojas. Is that you? Is
Jamie
that
Blanco.
you that I see there? Look,
Yes.
how are we going to get through this episode, James? Disney Plus, it just came out with a million and one things. I don't even know where to start.
Yeah,
How are we going to get through this episode?
we don't have enough time. There isn't enough time in the day to talk about all of the news that was dropped on us by Disney and what we're going to be seeing on Disney Plus and also conceivably in movie theaters down the road. And so a lot of big news. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode. Again, if you are watching us, please subscribe, please like. Thank you so much for watching. If you're on Facebook, give us a share, give us a like. Also, you can listen to us on any of the major podcasting streaming services. Hub on Hollywood on Twitter, Instagram. You know the rest. Okay, we got to get into this because there is so much to talk about.
There's little time. All right, so Disney Plus, massive announcements. This was Disney Investors Day. And not only are we hearing about the future of Star Wars, we're hearing about the future of Marvel and a ton of other properties. James, we're going to be starting with Marvel news, 10 new Disney Plus series on top of the news that we heard about movies and stuff like that. So why don't you kick us off?
So let's first talk about the Spider-Man 3 news really quick because this came before the Disney Plus investors meeting. But Spider-Man 3, the cast is pretty much out there and practically confirmed. We're seeing a lot of people coming from the original Spider-Man trilogy, the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man 1 and 2, and now we're seeing this multiverse. This is definitely a multiverse movie. We have Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, and Alfred Molina, Doc Ock from the original Spider-Man trilogy. He's coming back. Jamie Foxx, Kirsten Dunst, Emma Stone, Benedict Cumberbatch, Benedict Cumberbatch, of course, is going to be the key, I believe, into this multiverse, bringing all of these Spider-Man versions onto the same timeline, into the same. Yes, exactly. So that's really amazing. I didn't think this would ever happen. Like. This is I loved that Into the Spider-Verse happened, and it's one of my favorite Spider-Man movies, and I thought, okay, that filled the need for this multiverse kind of direction, and I was completely satisfied with that. And of course, they're going to be making their own animated versions, continually. But to do it in the live format and to see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield coming and meeting Tom Holland, what a time to be alive. What a time to be a comic book fan. What a time to be a Marvel movie fan. This is a big announcement.
This is Marvel moving into phase 4. I remember feeling like, where can they go from here? At the end of the last movie, the Infinity War, we saw the end of Iron Man and Captain America's out of the equation. I'm like, where could they possibly go from here? Apparently, the answer is in a million different directions. Everywhere. So I'm glad that they've got this agreement with Sony that Spider-Man is, here, that we are going to see him. We've got the multiverse of madness that's pulling everyone in. Like we talked about before, it's going to be like that meme of Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man. And
they need to have that scene. They have to.
I love that.
How could they not have that pointing scene?
Just the excitement is there, the hype, and what's best about it is it's a solid story. And speaking of solid,
is it too much though? Is it really quick? Sorry to interrupt, but is it too much? Because there were two things. Because for Spider-Man 3, of course, at the end of Spider-Man 2, spoilers of the latest Spider-Man trilogy now. We find out Peter Parker is Spider-Man. He's, his name's given out there by none other than J. Jonah Jameson. And so I thought we could have gone in two different directions. So obviously, we've gone into the directions where Spider-Man's being connected to everybody practically. Or the part 3 could have gone in the direction of, kind of an isolated Spider-Man movie in and of itself without, other superheroes, and where Peter Parker, Spider-Man, has to run from the law or has to avoid detection or to... No. So there are two directions they could have gone. They went I don't think the safe way. They went into the very complicated way, but definitely possibly more entertaining. No.
I don't think it's too much. I think 2020 is too much. I don't think that this is too much. I think it's very smart for Marvel to try to weave in this Spider-Man character in as many ways as possible so that they will always have their fingers in the Sony property and they will always have a reason to be able to pull him over onto the Marvel side and make bank. I think is very,
Mm.
very smart to weave these stories together and characters and everything. You know, you at this point you cannot have it. You know, you cannot have Spider-Man in the Marvel universe without Tom Holland's Spider-Man in that Sony deal. So, no, I think it's very smart. I think it's very, very exciting. I don't think it's going to be too much. I think I cannot wait to get lost in all of it.
Yeah.
And getting lost is exactly what we are going to have to look forward to because there is so much coming, James. There is so much coming. Speaking of Marvel, so we were touching on that Disney Plus announcement. 10 new Marvel shows for Disney Plus coming to Disney Plus. That is apparently the future of Marvel, at least for the short term.
Yeah, and among that list is the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, starring Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie. The trailer, it makes it seem very espionage spy kind of like movie, and so these characters aren't like Iron Man or these other characters that can save world-ending disasters. These guys are focused on kind of on the smaller the sneaky scale. So I got a very espionage vibe from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier trailer. So that's coming out. Of course, WandaVision is going to be tied to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which is, of course, now directed to Spider-Man. And so there's more word on that. We're going to find out what happened to Loki during Avengers Endgame. This different timeline. He, instead of getting captured and progressing on to the other movies, scuffle happened, and yes, exactly. And so we're going to be finding out what's Loki getting up. What happened to him? What he's going to be doing?
So real quick,
and this is still bad Loki.
Right, this is still bad Loki. And I just saw the trailer for Loki, and it felt a little weird. It felt a little odd. It felt a little bit
off.
Yeah. It felt a little Batman and a little something else. It felt it maybe a little kind of lost in where it wanted to go with its direction. I don't know. It felt a little strange. So I'm kind of a little bit worried about the Loki show, but it's one of the ones that I'm more excited about. We love that character.
Loki is a great character, but I think he's a better side character as something that is the antagonist, that is the foil, or that's off to the side. And so we saw that in Thor Ragnarok, and of course we saw it in Avengers, obviously the first one, but throughout the series. He's always been a really good taste to pop in and to disrupt and then leave. As a main character, we're going to find out if that character is enough to carry a show of itself.
Yep, and so then we've got Miss Marvel, the first Muslim American character who's going to be joining the silver screen array of characters, or the Disney Plus screen first, but she's also going to be working her way into the actual theatrical Marvel movies. But she's going to start with her own show on Disney Plus. The actress, American actress Iman Vellani, going to be playing Kamala Khan. She's one of the newer Marvel characters that's been introduced in comics just in the last few years. I'm really pumped about this one also because she just looks adorable. She is just super cute, and it looks really relatable. So we'll see what's going on there. Just to rattle off a few.
Yeah, we have She-Hulk. We have Moon Knight starring Oscar Isaac. We have a lot of big names, and I could have swore Christian Bale is attached to one of these films, right? I believe.
Yes,
there was an announcement.
Yeah. Christian Bale is going to be the villain, I believe.
He's going to be playing. He's going to be in Thor: Love and Thunder. And so that's going to be really interesting. Of course, Christian Bale is known as Christopher Nolan's Batman, and did a fantastic job as that. And so to see him as a villain in Thor: Love and Thunder, making that jump to Marvel, I love that. And so I never thought I would see him in a Marvel movie, but really excited.
He's going to be Gore the God Butcher. Gore the God Butcher. So many announcements to keep track
Now,
of.
one thing I am excited for, and this is actually one of my favorite, more on my favorite or higher list of favorite Marvel movies, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Uh-huh.
Ant-Man, I really liked it. Paul Rudd, he's a national treasure. How could you not love him? So Ant-Man was a really good, solid introduction film for him. And then Ant-Man and the Wasp with Evangeline Lilly. I love that movie. It's such a great Marvel movie in and of itself. It's small, it's confined. It's not
Yeah.
until the very end credits. It's not tied to any other movie. It's contained. I really enjoyed that movie. And so Ant-Man and the Wasp 3, Quantumanium.
Wow.
Quantumanium. So part 3, that movie I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
seeing. Paul Rudd. Love the guy.
Can't go wrong with Paul Rudd. The Paul Rudd who apparently has in real life discovered time travel because the man doesn't age.
No.
Okay, we've got She-Hulk, Ironheart, Secret Invasion. That one's going to be interesting because that's about Nick Fury. That's a Nick Fury series about the shape-shifting Skrull who have apparently invaded the highest levels of society, even the Avengers. So that's going to be really neat. There's been talk about that one in the past, so that's one to keep an eye out for. There's a cartoon called Armor Wars. There's I Am Groot, Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special.
They're gonna milk that, Groot cuteness for as long as they
Yeah,
can, like Baby
that's
Yoda. They're
like
gonna milk it.
yeah, that's their Baby Yoda.
You know
Yep,
what? I just realized that's why Baby Yoda ages so slowly. Is that he can be a baby for so many years. Disney
forever,
could just keep selling Baby Yoda, never grow up,
forever, for at least the next 500 years,
at least.
something
So
like
until
that.
he hits puberty, then it starts going downhill.
Oh my gosh, I would love to see like an angsty teenage Yoda type
Oh
alien. So that would be
yeah,
hilarious.
you can't say
Um,
mad at that.
that's about. Speaking of Yoda,
Yeah.
Disney Plus announcements. Made their way into a galaxy far, far away, and we are going to have so many more movies. The future of Star Wars is also on Disney Plus. 10 new Star Wars shows to match the 10 new Marvel shows.
Why not?
It's,
Why not?
it's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. Um, so let's get into these announcements a little bit, and then we're going to get into the last episode of The Mandalorian. So the very first announcement was Mandalorian season 3. I think that was a given. We're getting Mandalorian season 3.
No, this very
Um,
popular show. They're gonna make another one, another season. I don't believe it.
no, really? What? Stop.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have
Wow.
season 3.
Yeah, season 3. And then we've got 2 spin-off shows derived directly from The Mandalorian that are being from the executive producers Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, and those include Ahsoka, sorry, and Rangers of the New Republic. So
Hmm.
both of those shows in the same timeline, directly coming from The Mandalorian. Any thoughts on those?
So with Ahsoka, of course, we were expecting a spinoff of hers. Now this actually makes me think because, of course, she appeared in the Jedi in season 2 of The Mandalorian, and she's on a mission. She needs to find Grand Admiral Thrawn, which is a big deal, big name drop. And so I was actually thinking we were going to possibly see her in the last episode of The Mandalorian, where this kind of team. I didn't know what the plot was going to be, but I was imagining a team getting built and Ahsoka coming back and then we see her go off into her spinoff, or possibly we would see Grand Admiral Thrawn. I don't know, sometime in this season. Now with hearing that she's obviously, again, still knowing that she's getting her own spinoff, now I'm less likely or thinking that Thrawn may appear in The Mandalorian. So I'm
Hmm.
thinking they just may, again, maybe she pops up in the final episode and she mentions, still looking for Thrawn. He's out there, and then she leaves.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're going to see Thrawn interact with Mando or with this crew. So that's what I thought. We're going to see more Cara Dune in Rangers of the
Mhm.
New Republic because, as we
Yeah.
saw in the last episode, she is a Ranger now.
And Rangers of the New Republic, that is going to be the name of the next series. So you might see her there as well. And
Now, is
sort of
she?
seeing how this is a wild, wild west after the fall of the Empire in the Republic versus the remnants of the Empire, which I'm excited about because texture, context, love it. Go ahead. Sorry.
Now, is she, Cara Dune, that character, is she enough to carry a series on her own shoulders? Now, I'll be honest. The character's a very great character. The actress, she does a very good job portraying her. But again, this is just my personal take. I don't think she's the strongest actor on The Mandalorian, and so
Hmm.
I'm not sure, if this is following her. Is she going to be? This maybe it may sound bad, but as an honest
Yeah.
kind of a question, would she be enough to carry a series on her shoulders?
I don't
I'm not sure
think
what your take is on
so.
her.
I don't think so. I don't think that there's the fan support there for that. But I'm hoping it's more of a ensemble cast of new faces and interesting stories. I hope it's not just, one main character,
Hmm.
because I think there's a lot that they can explore there. And speaking of things that they can explore, we're also going to get a Lando series. No confirmation yet whether Donald Glover is
Donald
going to
Glover.
re-sign on as the Lando character there,
I feel like
or
they
whether we're
might.
going to see his love affair with the robot.
I think I think Disney right now they are hitting it out of the park, and we'll talk about Kenobi in just a minute, but based off what we're seeing with Kenobi and what we'll just mention it right now, Hayden Christensen coming back, reprising his role as Darth Vader and Anakin
Right.
Skywalker.
Yeah.
I know I kind of jumped the gun,
It's
but
okay.
that being said, I think Donald Glover, I think Disney is doing such a good job with respecting characters and
Mhm.
actors that are tied
Yeah.
to it. And
Yeah.
Lando, Donald Glover had a really good representation, and people liked that part of the movie. And so I think they'll do it. I think they'll bring Donald Glover for this.
Yeah. Yeah. He's probably just negotiating the cha-ching. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think it's gonna happen. They're just gonna have to pay buku bucks for it. But as you mentioned, I think the biggest news from this announcement: Hayden Christensen back as Anakin Skywalker in the Obi-Wan Kenobi limited series. So this is going to be immediately after the Anakin's fall to the dark side, and him chasing Obi-Wan Kenobi around the universe. I'm here for it. I love Hayden. I think he's a fantastic actor. I think that George Lucas did all of the actors in the prequels a terrible injustice. He wasn't, an actor's director, but Hayden Christensen is an amazing actor, and I can't wait to
hmm
see what he does with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni or whoever is being signed on for that particular project. But as part of this these new series and these new shows and this new generation or era of Star Wars. I'm very excited to see Hayden again. I loved him before he became Anakin Skywalker, and he was in a series about a young man who had been abused and was really troubled. And I think that he's amazing. I really think he's amazing. Cannot wait for it.
yeah.
And
He wasn't given a fair
hopefully
shot.
he wasn't given a fair shot. And I think that I hope that they kind of tie it to I maybe you won't agree with me here, but I hope that they tie it to the sequels in a way, and I hope that maybe they can bring Adam Driver in one way or another. I don't
You're
know.
just finding anything. I like.
I know. I love Adam, but I think that they should have brought Hayden in for the last Star Wars movie. They should have brought him in for the Rise of Skywalker. I don't think that there's no reason why they shouldn't have. They should have had him and in the last installment of the trilogy so that they could tie it all together in a big bow and even if they were going to kill Kylo off, like bring the family together and have some completeness, have some closure. I just think it's such a huge crime that they didn't do this sooner. So I can't say enough about Hayden Christensen. I'm excited.
Yeah, and I think this is gonna again. I think Disney's on this redemption tour with like for example Boba Fett. Giving him a badass scene to show that yes, he is a badass bounty hunter that didn't go out like a punk. But with the last trilogy, the with J.J. Abrams, I feel like the last movies they retconned or they pretty much belittled Anakin's and Darth Vader's sacrifice and what he did. Like if he was the chosen one, bringing balance to the Force, then defeating Sidious in theory would have done that. But
Right.
to bring Darth Sidious back, and again,
With
there are
no
ways to do it.
explanation.
Again, but they didn't even if they had a proper explanation and it made sense, then like okay, we can argue or we could work with it. But there's zero explanation, and Darth Sidious is back, and so I think that
Yeah,
diminishes
it does.
Anakin's and Darth Vader's sacrifice. That's
Yeah.
just me.
No, I agree. I agree. But
And
dead
so for
horse, dead
this,
horse,
so for
James, dead
this,
horse.
so
Let's move on.
hopefully in Kenobi, and they'll redeem
Yes,
Darth
they
Vader.
are
They'll find some
redeeming.
way. They'll do
They're
something to make it good.
they're, they're redeeming Star Wars. Yes. Can we just redo the whole sequel trilogy? Because my God. Anyways,
Yeah.
so after that, we're looking at The Bad Batch. It's a cartoon spinoff of the Clone Wars. We're getting Andor, a Cassian Andor backstory from Rogue One.
With
Um,
Diego Luna reprising his role.
Diego Luna replacing, yes, very wonderful. Visions, an anime style animated Star Wars show. The Acolyte from the High Republic era. A droid story. But
C-3PO and R2-D2 going
pretty,
to going
yes,
to war.
they go on some adventures. But most excitingly, maybe, we got a little bit of news about the next theatrical releases from Star Wars. This has changed so many times. There was going to be the Rian Johnson trilogy. There was going to be the producers of Game of Thrones, their trilogy. Both of those seem to have kind of vanished into the background. Now we've got the announcement that Patty Jenkins of Wonder Woman fame is going to be directing the next theatrical release Star Wars movie for 2023 called Rogue Squadron, about a new generation of fighter pilots. Patty Jenkins. Heck yeah. Okay, I think we
All
got
right.
through those announcements.
Yeah, and then there are still topics that we have not touched on, and that's how much news was dropped. But
Yeah,
again, this is just they
this
just
is
spit
the
out
main point.
information. We can still
Yeah.
dissect it later. But yeah, really cool stuff. Really cool time to be a Star Wars fan, a Marvel fan, and just a fan of movies and entertainment. But
Also, a great time to be a fan of the Hub on Hollywood. Go ahead and like, share, friend us, find us,
smooth.
show your mother, show your brother. We're on we're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We are on all the major podcast listening services. And if you go to wbznewsradio.com, we're right there under podcasts. Come have fun with us. We're having a blast. Come have fun with us.
Yeah, we're all having a blast. What did you think about the Marvel and Disney Plus and all these other announcements? Crazy, right? You know what else is crazy? The last episode of
Of
The
the Mandalorian.
Mandalorian. Like that was
Yeah.
nuts. And
Yeah.
so there were things that I never thought I would be doing as a Star Wars fan, and one of those things was cheering for stormtroopers. There are a lot of really cool parts about this movie that I
Yeah.
really liked and really loved seeing. But The Mandalorian, do you want to go over the general gist of what happened and what we saw, and then we could talk about my
Sure.
favorite moments.
Sure. Okay, so we Baby Yoda has just been taken. And Mando has assembled a little crew who's going to help him get his kid back. So we've got Boba Fett. We've got the two women there that are helping him out, and they go and they get this other character who's played by Boston comedian Bill Burr.
Yeah. So
To help
it's cool. It's cool because we see Cara Dune now that she is
Cara
a
Dune.
ranger, a Cara Dune. Now she is a ranger, and so she has connections. And so where do we find Bill
Ranger.
Burr? Last time we saw him, he was locked up. Next time we see him, he's still locked up, but he's doing manual labor. And so that was really cool to see Cara.
Yeah.
Kara, I'm saying Kara because at the last Avatar, Kara, and so she takes him out of prison, and I love his interaction, saying, he was very standoffish because he saw Mando, and he was like, whoa, where are we going? Tell me where we're going. This isn't cool. But they tell him, hey, we're gonna sneak into the Empire's base and find out Moff Gideon because we're gonna find Baby Yoda. And so this was a really fun episode. I think it ran closer to 40 minutes, but it had a really great chase. It had really good, funny moments. Bill Burr brought up a lot of funny stuff. A lot of not groundbreaking, but we see more of Mando bending the rules to people will do what they need to do to find and fight for who they love. And we saw that, and it was really cool. Starting off, let's talk about, first of all, no sight of Baby Yoda. We still don't know where he is.
No.
And so to find out where he is, Mando and Bill Burr, they need to go to this base where the Empire is stationed to get information about Moff Gideon's ship and its location. And so we first see Mando ditching the Beskar armor to and so they can hide into the stormtroopers armor, and then so they can go into the base and everything. So we see Mando. Are we just spoiling everything right now?
We're just spoiling everything. Go for it. Spoil the crap out of it. Let's talk about it. It was fun.
Yeah, it was very fun. Let's talk about that chase scene really quick because Mando and Bill Burr they steal this Empire tank with wheels. It looks like a very long snake tank, and so they're using it to sneak into the base. And Mando has to fight off these pirates that are trying to steal what's in the tank, what they're carrying. And
Which
so
are
seeing Mando,
explosives.
very
Yeah.
explosive. Yeah, and one thing I loved is when Mando was fighting them, I love the fact that he forgot that he was wearing Beskar armor. He was just wearing crappy Stormtrooper armor because when he went to block some of the blows, the armor just shatters immediately, and you could see him like writhe in pain, and then he starts, getting the upper hand. But normally if you're wearing Beskar armor, that thing's gonna bounce off. You're gonna be fine. But it's funny because he's wearing Stormtrooper armor, not the best quality, and so that fight scene, that chase scene was amazing. But what led to me cheering for the stormtroopers was when they got to the base, because presumably who's driving the tank are stormtroopers. They were backed up by the rest of their buddies, and so we saw these two TIE fighters come flying in, roaring in on a really cool scene, destroying the pirates. And then you see the rest of the other stormtroopers at the base, defending this tank as it comes in. And they come in, you see the celebration, and you see stormtroopers, acting human, something that we haven't really seen in Star Wars before or that much. And so I love how we are seeing things from the stormtroopers' perspective, the Empire's perspective. Not everybody's evil, they're human. This is a job. They think they're on the right side, and so seeing that part of it opens up the door of kind of making it kind of questionable when you're seeing, dozens and dozens of stormtroopers dying or getting blown up, because now you're thinking they have families, they have kids or something. So that whole chasing was great.
Bill Burr's character is ex-Imperial, and he gets to confront, I guess, his former division leader or whatever later in this episode. And you learn about how I love how they are simultaneously humanizing the stormtroopers, but then reminding you how twisted and evil and horrible the mentality is of the Empire and what they're fighting for later in the episode. But I'm sorry I interrupted you. I got excited. Keep going. So what happens next?
No. I was going to go right into it. I was going to go into that mess hall, the cafeteria scene where Mando and Bill Burr's character, they need to go in, access a database to find Moff Gideon's location. And because Bill Burr, as you mentioned, recognized one of his former commanders, he was afraid that he was going to be recognized and the plan was going to go to hell. And so Mando, again, he says, I have to do this. There's no failing. I needed to do this. So he himself goes to the computer, for lack of a better word, and then starts trying to get information. And it needs to scan your face. Right. And obviously he tries it. He tries the scanner with his helmet on, gets rejected, starts raising suspicions from other people, including that commander. And then he has to take off his helmet, and we see Pedro Pascal, that beautiful face of his. And
it is a beautiful face.
And so it scans his face, he gets the information, and is confronted by the commander. But Bill Burr comes in, kind of smooth talks, and gets the suspicion off their back. And then we have a sit down. Because they, word is these two stormtroopers were the only cargo unit to be able to get their shipment in, and so kudos for them. The commander wants to buy them a beer, but starts talking about the terrible things, egregious things they've done, including the killing of the deaths rather of Bill Burr's comrades, his fellow troopers who passed away. That sparked some PTSD kind of moments in Bill Burr's character. And like Han Solo, shoots the commando, and then that starts this huge gunfight, this gun battle, which had to lead to the eventual, escape. But I thought this was a very exciting show. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So can I just talk about how much I love the removing of the helmet?
Yes.
I love character development, and we have seen from Mando since the beginning that. Especially in the beginning, he is from this very strict order of the Mandalorian. No one has seen his face since he was a child. And in the first season, he almost would have rather died than let a droid take his helmet off. And he eventually did let him take the helmet off because it's a droid and it wasn't a living thing. but that's how dedicated he is to that directive of his order. And we come to learn that he's a foundling of the Death Watch, which he himself didn't know. And over the course of these 2 seasons, he's learned a little bit more about the history of Mandalore. And the conversation that he was having with the Bill Burr character when they were in the tank
that was great. I love the conversation.
It was awesome because they were talking about, well, everybody does what they have to do, and everyone bends the rules a little bit. And what does it really mean to follow these strict rules that you've been following your entire life? Because if you're born in one part of the galaxy, you believe one thing. If you're born in another part of the galaxy, you believe another thing. And all of these things are seeping into Mando, and he is evolving. He is changing, and he is putting the love of his son, Baby Yoda, his child, Grogu, before all else. And at the end, when he sends that very Liam Neeson message to Moff Gideon, like, you have something that I want, and you have no idea what he means to me, and all of this stuff. It's like, it's just so amazing that this character has come this far to not only take his helmet off, but then, interact with people. And the other thing that I loved about it was Pedro Pascal is a national treasure, because you can feel how uncomfortable and how scared he is when he takes the helmet off. He's completely lost confidence. He doesn't know how to speak to other human beings with his face bare, and he can't think quickly, and and Bill Burr's character has to come in and save him when the Imperial officer comes and is talking to him. And, Bill Burr's character takes the lead, and it's not until Mando puts his helmet back on that he regains all of his confidence. But he's almost like a child in taking off that helmet, because nobody has seen his face since he was a child. And it was just so beautiful and subtle and well done. I went back and I watched this like 10 times. This is the only part of The Mandalorian so far that I've gone back and I've done that with. And it's just so beautiful, so awesome. I cannot give it enough kudos, enough stars, enough shirtless Kylo Rens. I just loved it.
We applaud. Great job, Mandalorian. Great job, Star Wars. Great job, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni.
Freaking ovation. And yes, in that moment at the end, the like, I'm coming for my son. Like, I have a particular set of skills, and you will give me my Grogu back, or we're
and
coming.
Moff Gideon, he was scared. He had concern on his face.
He looked worried.
Yeah.
I don't know, what was your reaction to the whole helmet part? Because that was my favorite by a million, by far.
Yeah, it was great, and I do acknowledge, like, the very emotional and the meaning of his confidence being taken away. But I'm hesitant to say that I found it funny, but I found it, this is Mando out of his comfort zone. He is not in control right now, and this is the first time that you see it, and that kind of awkwardness was, again, I wouldn't say funny, but it's interesting to see, very human to see somebody in that light when normally they're the complete opposite. And so the emotional level is true, and
character first. I think the directors here and the producers, we're watching a story that is character driven, unlike the sequels, completely character driven, and I am here for it. But a question for you, James: did Mando break his creed? Because he was doing this for Baby Yoda. And then the officer came over, and there was nothing that he could do. They just had to survive. He did what he had to do, right? Has he broken his creed? Is he no longer a member of the Death Watch? Like, what is this doing to him?
To be fair, like, I think the realistic answer, like, nobody's keeping tabs on that, so no one's gonna tell. So he's still in the Mando. Everyone else is gonna be, okay, that's Mando. They're not gonna know. No one's gonna tell. So I think in that's the most practical answer. In the theory of, like, does that break his code? I understand. Like, he did it to survive. I mean, I think you can argue if the Mandalorian took off his helmet, he needed to do it to survive or to accomplish his mission. In the process of a mission, then I think you could kind of bend the rules saying that's cool, that's fine. If he had done it on his day off, he's just chilling, and then he just like he's hanging out with a friend, he's like takes it off, then like you're definitely out. But if you're on a mission that you need to accomplish, and winning is all about Mandalorian culture, do what you need to do to win, to survive. I think you can argue there's some wiggle room there.
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone's talking.
Yeah, that's his whole existence, though. That's his whole being, and he's starting to bend and sacrifice, and doing that for Grogu. And one person, I think, put it beautifully. Is like, this is the greatest. This is the best father-son relationship in all of Star Wars. And it's just I'm like I said, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm over the Skywalkers. Like, I want to see Mando and Grogu, and that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, what did you think of the Mandalorian of the last episode? We have one more left, and so it all comes down to this. I believe it's one more left. So it comes all down to this. We're gonna find out if baby Grogu is going to be rescued. Will Moff Gideon get his? Will Mando ever take his mask off again? Let us know what you thought about the episode. Let us know where anything is going. The Marvel universe, Star Wars universe, the Disney universe, Disney versus HBO Max. This is quite a time to be alive right now for a Marvel Star Wars movie fan.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go rewatch it now.
I'm gonna do that right now, actually, too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Woo.
Well, thanks for watching. For the Hub on Hollywood, I'm James.
I'm Jamie. See you next time.
Bye. We did it. We talked about everything.
Yeah, that's so much stuff.